Putin lashes out at Church of England over gender-neutral God in rambling speech. Vladimir Putin has slammed the Church of England, mocking the Anglican Church leaders' decision to explore gender-neutral pronouns for God. Delivering his State of the Union address in Moscow, the Russian leader took a swipe at the Church of England, saying the move is evidence that the West is on the verge of a spiritual catastrophe and doesn't know what it is doing. He declared, "The Anglican Church is considering a gender-neutral God. May God forgive them, for they know not what they do." Millions of people in the West understand they are being led to a real spiritual catastrophe. Putin went on to accuse Western nations of rewriting history to suit woke ideologies, and he harshly criticized the Church's recent discussions on allowing priests to bless same-sex marriages. He said, "They distort historical facts, constantly attack our culture, the Russian Orthodox Church, and other traditional religions of our country." He continued, "Look at what they do with their own peoples. The destruction of the family, cultural and national identity, perversion, and the abuse of children are declared the norm. And priests are forced to bless same-sex marriages." Earlier this month, General Synod revealed that the Church has been exploring the idea of adopting a new language after priests asked to be allowed to use gender-neutral terms instead of he. The Church said that they would launch a new commission on the matter in the spring. The Church's governing body, the Synod, would have to accept any proposed changes that would break from the timeless doctrines that date back millennia. The issue came up during the Church's General Synod meeting when the Reverend Joanna Stobart, the vicar of South Somerset's Ilminster and White Lackington, asked the leadership how things were doing with the initiative to use more inclusive language. Bishop Michael Ipgrave, deputy chairman of the Church's liturgical committee, responded that the issue was already being looked into and that the Church intended to start a new project in the upcoming months to look at how gendered language should be used in reference to God. He said, after some dialogue between the two commissions in this area, a new joint project on gendered language will begin this spring. In common with other potential changes to authorized liturgical provision, changing the wording and number of authorized forms of absolution would require a full synodical process for approval. It remains unclear what term would replace Our Father in the Lord's Prayer, the central Christian prayer that Jesus is said to have instructed his disciples to say together down the generations. A spokesperson for the Church of England said there are absolutely no plans to consider a gender-neutral God. He said, "There are absolutely no plans to abolish or substantially revise currently authorized liturgies."